Yo, what's good, party people in the place to be? It's your man, Uncle Freezie. Welcome to Old School Knicks. Kicking the week off on Sundays, the best way to start your week with some dope Knicks content. Let me introduce our guy, the star of the show, the creator of Old School Knicks, and the anchor in this Knicks community, an anchor in this Knicks universe, Anthony D. AD, what's good, baby?
Good morning, Uncle Freezie. Good morning, Knicks Nation, Knicks Universe. I got to apologize to everybody for not being available last week, but you know, sometimes being a Knicks fan, it takes a toll on us, and sometimes we need to catch ourselves. You know what I mean? Check our heart rate and our blood pressure and all of that good stuff, and take it easy. Plus, it was Super Bowl week last week, and you know we had to get ready for our Super Bowl game and our poker game and all that good stuff. So shout out to my pokerholics that I rocks with. I ain't giving y'all no name by name introduction. Y'all know who y'all is. So Uncle Freezie,
you
not easy. Let's get it.
Let's get it, boss. So I'm torn. Right. So for one, I'm not a big.
You like a t-shirt, or you talking like spandex on a fat girl in the middle of July?
That one. I'm exploded. But anyway, this NBA All-Star Weekend thing to me is trash. It's not even fun to watch, really. The personalities are trash. Like, I'm tired of seeing Kenny the Jet Smith. I'm tired of seeing Reggie Miller talk about shooting is great. I'm tired of like these also random commentators, no personality type dudes being the commentator, the moderator for it. I'm tired of these overhyped events. Why am I watching D and Antetokounmpo brothers? We already know only one of them is good. The other two are trash. Why would I want to watch them All-Star Weekend? Why do I want to watch a bunch of washed up rappers, you know what I'm saying, do some songs that I ain't never heard of? Why do I want to watch random NBA players that's not even stars in the dunk contest? I don't want to see this. Why is LeBron James not in the dunk contest? Why is Giannis at All-Star Weekend and not in the dunk contest? I'm watching lottery busts like Obi Toppin in the dunk contest. What do I want to see? I don't even want to watch him play for my team. Why would I want to watch him on All-Star Weekend?
Woo.
Right? Juan Toscano Anderson? Who the hell is that? Greg Anthony Duncan and Tim's, Greg Anthony Cole Anthony. I don't care. Whoever it is. Right? Jalen Green. He looked like he in 8th grade.
Let me ask you a question. In as many words as you can, or as little as you can, how would you fix it?
I would throw that mess away. Right? I would burn it to the ground, take the ashes, put it in a trash bag, take that trash bag, put it on a rocket, and send it past the moon. Never to return. Never. I don't ever want to see this mess no more. I don't ever. Juan Toscano Anderson is how I'm supposed to be entertained on a Saturday night. Obi Toppin.
What? You
It's a,
weren't enthralled by DJ Khaled. We
yeah,
the best music.
yeah, no, no, and not by Mary J. Blige either.
Let me tell you something. Mary J. Blige is one of my favorite artists of all times.
Right.
Watching her in the Super Bowl, with the Dr. Dre situation last week or whatever, I liked it. I'm from that era and so forth. But it almost felt to me as good as she was last week, and in that setting, like she went further backwards in this setting, trying to appease to a younger audience that I get it. You want to stay relevant and reinvent yourself, but it was not a good look for her yet last night, getting introduced by DJ Khaled and the song that, I I was just lost. And maybe it was because that I was with my friends and we were in the middle of several poker games with a whole lot of flowers in the air, if you know what I mean. The purple
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
Right? So so we were laughing and eating everything in sight last night.
Yeah.
So maybe that has distorted my vision. But Mary, I love you. You know what I mean? And you're like one of my, you could still get it on the get it list. But no. One of the things that I would do to reinvigorate it is every time I look on YouTube right around this time of the year about dunks, I always see around the country, around the globe, some of the greatest dunkers that we never see in the All-Star game.
Right.
Open it up. If you really want to recapture the fans' imagination, have a situation where you're having like a lottery, come dunk with the best dunkers. To where you can and have a true prize. Like it's $1 million. You win, you get $1 million and come dunk with the best dunkers.
Right.
Because there's a lot of young cats out there. They'll never make it to the league. But on the blacktop, in the them being, pogo sticks, human pogo sticks, jumping out the gym, they would absolutely, I would put my money on them a good 50-60% of the time. Some of the trick dunks that I've seen away from the NBA, they would absolutely give NBA ballers a run for their money. And you could, like I said, you could help to renew some of the interest and, and a real entertainment choreographer that can tell you like what, the pulse of the people and not the pulse of everyone 21 and under.
AD, I feel you. Right.
Yeah. So
I feel you.
But
can I say
that slight on Obi there? That slight on Obi there, we gotta, as we're going on today, we're gonna have to address that. Okay.
So for one, at NBA All-Star Weekend, I don't want to see random Joe Blow that works second shift, you know what I'm saying, at the textile place win $1 million because he did the best dunk. I don't want to see that. He don't have swag. I don't know who he is. I don't care. I don't care that a 5'8" dude with a 50-inch vertical can do such and such dunk. You ain't a star. It's all star weekend.
But it could be in the same vein as when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? America's Next Top, whatever. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in that vein where you remember about 20 years ago they had an NBA event 3-on-3 where you got your best three and your best three went up against the NBA guys. It wasn't an all-star event, but it was during the summer. I'm talking about in that vein, reconnecting with the community in sense like that, doing things that making it more of a community driven where, you're playing for this, you'll get this, and also the community gets that. We'll donate $5 million to the community, Negro College Fund, whatever, something, along those lines. And another thing is there's not enough female presence in the All-Star game. it's too much testosterone. Maybe there's a female out there that can dunk. Or better yet, that can shoot shot for shot, that can shoot threes. See what I'm saying? I'm saying think out the box. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying think out the box.
Here is out the box. Here is out the box. Scrap it. Take the dunk contest and burn it to the ground. Don't ever bring it back. But you know what though? Here's the thing. I would say don't ever think about bringing it back. Don't ever consider bringing it back. Because there are limits to what a human being can do. And you've reached that point. Right? Here's my replacement. The 3-point challenge, the skills challenge, the 3-point the dunk contest, all that. Burn that mess to the ground. Right? That's for 8th graders who are amazed by dunks, right? And skills. Because as an 8th grader, you don't often see somebody your age dunk, right? We're past that point. America in the 70s, when Americans didn't see fancy dunks and all that stuff often or ever, the dunk contest was a novelty. Okay? Now we see dunking in Sprite commercials now. So the novelty of the dunk has worn off. Get rid of it. We don't need to see it no more. Right? So it's like bell-bottom pants. The first time you saw them, they was the flyest thing you ever saw. Then it was the style. Then they went out of style. Dunking is out of style. Nobody cares. Who cares?
I think you could read if you repackaged it correctly.
Oh, jeez.
And here's my thing, Freezie. As I noticed, you brought back the 3 ducks behind you, so you got your men's in them behind you, holding your back.
Is bears and 1 duck?
Bears.
Duck. Bears.
Like, you got your men's in them holding you down. Bears. I got it. I got it. But here's the thing, Freezie. How are you going to have the next generation or the next generations appreciate things that came before them if every time you think you've something has worn out its welcome, you just scrap it?
You still driving the first car you ever bought?
No, but I remember it quite well.
Right. You remember it, but you don't drive it though.
I don't drive it.
You probably
I don't drive it anymore.
It's probably in the scrap heap.
Yeah, but if whenever I get a chance and whenever the topic comes up, like how you just brought it up now, I can run off great moments of being in that vehicle. You see, this is why we're here today going old school, because we try and edutain individuals of what used to be and what still can be. We don't want to just give up everything that came before anyone that's under the age of 21. That's not fair. How will they get an appreciation to appreciate things? See what I'm saying? Do you want to forget, Jordan versus Dominique?
I want to forget Obi versus Juan Toscano Anderson. And are we comparing Obi Toppin to Michael Jordan?
No, we're not.
Okay.
But it's a standard. A standard. There's a reason why we talk about players, reaching Mount Rushmore. Why? Because Mount Rushmore is the standard. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to burn it, take it to the moon somewhere and throw it around the rings.
No, not the moon. The moon is too close.
The moon is too close.
The moon is too close. I want to send the dunk contest out in the galaxy, never to return. Right? Because the original dunk contest, to your point, featured, though, listen to who they featured. Right? Dr. J and David Skywalker Thompson. These guys were scoring machine, athletic freak, all-stars. Yesterday, we saw Obi Toppin and Juan Toscano Anderson. Are you serious?
Who are you more mad at, Obi Toppin or Juan Toscano Anderson?
I'm mad at everybody. I'm mad at TNT for that mess they put on my TV yesterday.
Because it wasn't a well-produced product. Freezie, please agree with me on that. It wasn't a well-produced product.
I think it was overproduced. I think it had too many bells and whistles and not enough substance.
But the bells and whistles, okay, all right, I'll go with you there.
Who is Juan Toscano Anderson?
You know, I mean, I'm saying he's in the NBA, Freezie. Put some respect on his name.
Nah, I ain't putting nothing on his name. I ain't putting nothing on that man's name. Matter of fact, the NBA featured a lottery bust as their dunk contest winner. Ladies and gentlemen,
so is that where we're going?
Ladies and gentlemen, the best thing of tonight is this lottery bust from the New York Knicks.
Is that where we're going? Again? So we're going to have this Obi thing here again? I have no problem with it because every time we do this, I take you to the woodshed. You know,
okay,
so that's fine.
Let's go to
I have
the woodshed.
I have
let's
no
go to the woodshed then.
Okay, then let's go. So fans, he's about to compare Obi Toppin to another guy who's an official bust, Kenny Walker, and that Kenny Walker won the slam dunk competition. Let me stop you right here. Don't believe him. Okay? Don't believe
the hype. Don't believe the hype.
It's the hatred in his heart because he'll have you to believe that 7 minutes a night over the last month and a half is good enough to show what you have on 7 minutes a night, while the leader of the team making $117 million, right, is not worth 117 cents. Julie, you know, your guy that you wouldn't trade Damian Lillard for during the offseason. You remember that guy?
Hey, you know, what's Damian Lillard doing right now?
What's Julie Randle doing right now? You know, I was gonna come on here my nice guy shit and everything, feeling good on a Sunday, but you want to go here with this. You want to go here with this. So let's just go into
is trash.
Okay, so but he's not the only one that's trash then.
But this is not about the only one. This is about this specific guy.
Shall he put himself into the game, Freezie?
Paris Douglas says, Freezie, it's not for you or me. It's for the young fella. You should have been doing Netflix and chill. YouTube the results. Let the youth live. Not right. Well, what I'm getting at is not Paris Douglas, and thank you for the generous contribution. What I'm saying is not the event itself, right? Not the concept of giving something to the youth, right? This is the product itself is trash. AD wouldn't let me get to my alternative because he know his point was whack.
I asked you, how would you fix it? Your feeling was the moon wasn't close enough.
No. The moon, no, that's not what I said.
I said the moon was fly out there with Jeff Bezos. You know, you want to roll out there in the moon.
I said no. I said the moon was too close.
On the moon. That's what you want to do.
No, I didn't. I said the moon was too close. Now you saying you insinuating the moon is too far. No, I'm saying the moon is too close. Shoot this thing past the moon, deep space, never to return is what I said. Past the moon, right? Here's my alternative, AD. Here's my alternative, right? Scrap the All-Star game because the All-Star game is a joke. And it has been a joke for how long? How long has the All-Star game been a joke? 30 years?
So now you want to scrap the All-Star game too?
Yes. And here's why. Here's why. What I think the NBA should do, and it solves three things at once, right? It solves the in-game tournament situation. The in-season tournament situation, right? It solves the whack Saturday night events thing, right? Because I want to keep, ironically, I want to keep the rising star, the rising star game. The celebrity game is trash, right? But the rookies versus sophomores, I want to keep that. Okay. I want to scrap the all-star game, the dunk contest, the three-point contest, and the skills challenge. And I want to replace it with an 8-team tournament where everybody on the winning team gets $1 million and the losers get 0. Right? The winning team gets $1 million. The losers get 0, nothing. Right? So now everybody has something to play for. Right? Because if you lose, you lost out on $1 million. You take. Wait, AD. Listen.
Go ahead.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm here.
You take the 8 biggest stars in the game and have them recruit players during the season to formulate an 8-man roster. Right? Right? So you take your LeBron, your KD, your Giannis, your Harden, your Spider Mitchell, your all these guys, they get to captain a team, right? And they get to pick 7 other current players in the NBA to play in this 8-team tournament, right? It starts on a Thursday. Everybody plays every day. The championship game to that tournament is it replaces the NBA All-Star game, right? Now you have, say, a situation of LeBron James's team versus Steph Curry's team with $1 million per player on the line. So now instead of you getting a whack all-star game that really don't start to the fourth quarter, you get a build-up, you get a in-season tournament on All-Star Weekend where everybody has a vested interest. Nobody wants to lose, right? Because one, if you put a whack team together, your reputation gonna be ruined, and you might not ever get another shot. 2, you get to win $1 million if you win 3 games with NBA All-Stars, right? 3 is not a draft, so it's not like an NBA All-Star has to commit to a certain team because he was drafted. Now NBA All-Stars get to play with people that they like and that they have chemistry with. So now instead of you seeing James Harden being forced to go to Kevin Durant's team, now you get people that like each other, like Steph, Clay, KD, all these dudes teaming up on one team, one powerhouse team, right? And now you add interest and intrigue to the equation as opposed to us watching some random ass dude named Juan Toscano Anderson or the NASA's Antetokounmpo, right? Now you get all-stars with a vested interest, and they get to design their own uniforms and name their team, right? They get to design their own uniforms, name their own team, all this type of stuff, right? For All-Star Weekend. And you know what you get in this scenario? You know what you get in this scenario, AD? You still get all-stars, but you get more of them, right? So now that you have 8-man teams, that means you got 64 NBA players participating. So instead of you having 24 or whatever, you got 64. Now dudes like Julius Randle get to play during All-Star Weekend. You get to see more players from more teams on a bigger stage. You get to see your De'Aaron Foxes play for something meaningful, right? You get to see cats like Kyle Lowry play for something meaningful, right? So you don't just get to see just the random same stars that you see every year. That's my alternative. And I know it's probably too thought out. It's probably too planned because a lot of fans just want to see a random dude jump over another dude to dunk.
Okay. You know, your explanation, likens me back to be careful what you ask for. Because really and truly, when I threw it out there, I didn't think that you would bite on it 2 minutes after I threw it out there. But I'm going to tell you something, Freezie, that I think you should follow from what the NBA guys are following during this weekend. It is a time to relax, cut up, and be silly and have it not really mean anything. What you're talking about, Freezie, is going to put every owner in some kind of tizzy or some kind of feeling of, nah, I don't want this at all. Because the first time a player who's playing for these millions of dollars, this $1 million, whatever, does something that jeopardizes his guaranteed contract, this is done. You see, you're playing for short money, $1 million, and everybody let's go at it hard and let's jump into the stands the way Charles Oakley used to do for just a weekend's worth of fun and festivities for one game. That's crazy. You cannot jeopardize the long-term investment. The first time somebody's not going to be able to play in the playoffs, again, gone. You think Kevin Durant is going to come out here with his fragile legs right now and come play as hard as he can for a lousy $1 million and jeopardize his long-term contract, Freezie? That's out of this. As you want to go with Jeff Bezos out of this world, it's out of this world.
Right. I knew you would think that because you want to see dunks, right? But I got
what I really want to do. You see, you gave me what you would do. Here's what I would do. You
already told me what you would do. You said you would grab some random YouTube dudes that.
Well, besides that.
Okay. So if it's more, okay.
No, I meant the environment. Let's go to DR.
You said invest in a United Negro College Fund and invest in
some of the money. I mean,
that's what you said earlier when you said you would fix it.
Yeah, I know. I mean the money. I'm talking about the ambiance, the environment. Let's have the game on the beach in DR where bikinis are around. Let's do things that'll be more social, because it's really a getaway for a couple of days for you to finally have your wife and the girlfriend on the trip, because there's rules and regulations and locker room protocol and not having the wives and the girlfriends here and so forth. You want to make it too serious, Freezie.
Okay, so let me say these two things to what you said. So for one, you brought up the injury thing, right? The first time an NBA player get injured, they're gonna scrap it, right? All right. So Cole Anthony injured his thumb last night in the dunk contest. What do you say to that?
Injuring your thumb, touching a finger, whatever, those are things. Because remember, you're going up against this metal thing that you do that all the time. So I get that point, Freezie.
Right. Okay.
I get that point.
Obi Toppin went flying in the stands last night after he missed a dunk and he could have got injured on that. So what do you say to that?
Obi Toppin and Cole Anthony's not Kevin Durant.
Okay, fine. I'm just talking about the participants because you brought up the injury risk. Right.
No, but you brought up the participants who would participate in the All-Star game. Those two guys are light years away from.
But all I can do is bring up the guys that participated last night. What I mentioned is an idea.
Yeah, but you're talking about the guys who
happened last night.
You're talking about the guys who carry the instrument bag and not the guys who are going to play the instrument. There's a difference.
Right, but what I'm saying is last night an NBA player injured himself in a real event right? What I said was an idea, and you used the hypothetical that what if they get hurt? So you can't say what if they get hurt in an idea when a guy actually got hurt in real time last night, right? So, and here's the other thing too. That makes the idea even better.
A big player got hurt.
Okay, all right. Duly noted. Duly noted. But what I'm saying is it actually happened.
Okay.
So here's the other thing too. When you make these 8 teams, right? Now with the whole world watching, an NBA player cannot take a few disgusting games. An NBA player that wants to be in this event, has to play hard for his team every game if he wants to get recognized, right? Because you have to showcase your skills every night if you want to be seen by the dudes that's picking, right?
Freezie, that's what the season is for, Freezie. That's why you play 82 games.
Right. How's that worked out for your best player? Has your best player been given max effort
is he also the coach? I'm sorry, is he also the coach of the team?
Oh, jeez.
Can he put himself in the game? You're confusing what this is for.
Nah.
Another thing you could add here, and I was thinking about it while you were giving me your soliloquy and your $1 million whatever, is if you put the trade deadline at the beginning of All-Star Week, because that would then really capture what's this going to be about. Far as I think they might have done, I think they did that 1 year.
Yeah,
they got it close to it. They should put the trading deadline the Friday of the beginning of the All-Star weekend. Because then you would create all kinds of buzz, all kinds of media going to talk to. How do you feel about this one getting traded? Coming to your team. It just adds a bit more intrigue. All I'm talking about, Freezie, are fringe things just to make it a bit more interesting. You want to go into, your army against my army, and no, it's a weekend.
Yes.
It's a weekend. You know what I mean? It's a weekend. Let's bring in the best and the baddest and the sexiest of the opposite gender, and let's have them decorate and be around in this mix.
AD, they have their own league. They do that on their own stuff. That's classic disrespect to the WNBA.
This is not ID clear war, Freezie. It's a weekend, Freezie. It's a chance for you to breathe, relax, sit down, mend the injury. Reestablish some things with your significant other because you haven't had this chance or whatever. You want to go out here balls to the wall Friday through Sunday. Why?
Because the NBA All-Star Weekend is whack. It's whack. It's whack. You know what? I'll tell you how whack it is, right? When Stephanie Reddy was interviewing Steph and Aisha about their new show, and so the NBA is so dumb, right? They're in Cleveland, Ohio, in the middle of the winter, which AD loves, by the way. I love being in Cleveland in the middle of the winter for All-Star Weekend, man. Perfect.
You heard me mention DR and Hawaii like 2 minutes ago. Stop it.
Right. No, I'm just ribbing you. I'm just ribbing you. I know. I heard you. I heard you. But listen, Stephanie Reddy was interviewing Steph Curry and Aisha Curry, right? And they introduced Aisha Curry. And the Cleveland crowd booed Aisha, right? And she was shook because she didn't understand why they was booing her show, right?
Mm-hmm.
But basketball heads knew immediately that this was a bad idea. Why would you introduce their show in Cleveland knowing that Steph Curry is the enemy there, that Steph Curry beat them in the finals? So Cleveland is still sore and bitter from losing to the Warriors, right? Swept, embarrassed by the Warriors, right? They booing, and Aisha got this look on her face like she want to cry. Like, why are they booing my show? So it's all these little things pile up to like the NBA just not getting it right. You're gonna bring 2 Chainz and his wife out there. 2 Chainz is a rapper from 10 years ago. What are we doing? Right?
Again, the marketing was bad. And I totally agree with you on that. You know,
all
I
of
totally
this,
agree
all
with
of
you
this
on
stuff is just all Mary J. Blige. That didn't look last minute to you.
It did. It how they put it together with the whole "We the Best" music and all of that. It was horrible. I can't lie to you.
Bro,
I'm not disagreeing with you right there. All I'm saying is this ID war that you want to do to make it more, you know, serious and whatever. That's not what All-Star Weekend is about. All-Star Weekend is about, you know, it's about seeing Clyde stroll up in his embroidered Clyde fur. It's about, being out there and doing what you do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's taking a break, but the entertainment value could be better, or not could be better, should be
better. And why did the NBA and TNT anoint All-Star Weekend as Kenny the Jet Smith's weekend?
It's been that way for a long time.
And it's been whack for a long time.
He's been, yes. I think, well, not that Kenny's whack per se, but it needs, like I said, it needs more of the female persuasion there. You know, just in the ceremony itself, and not just when they put Obi in that awkward moment of, I can't remember the young lady who asked him, "Did you believe that the setup was wrong and whatever?" Like, why would you ask this young man who just won? Like, what is he supposed to say? Let me give back my trophy. Like, it was the wrong way to arrange it. No, he's not gonna say that. Like, that would be counterproductive of us. Why he's here? Why did he accept the invitation? That's silly. See what I'm saying? How they put it together.
Well, he was gonna accept it anyway because he's an NBA player. He's just a dunker. So he was gonna accept the invite anyway. He ain't no NBA player. He a dunker. So anytime dunking going on, he gonna show up.
What did Paris Jugger say in this super chat? How old are you, Freezie? Go mow your lawn. Yeah. Oh my God. Paris. I mean, I get what Freezie's saying, and hopefully you get what I'm saying, Freezie. It's just the packaging, I think, is bad.
All of it. Everything.
All of it. Yes.
Everything is bad. Like instead of Shaq and because listen, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. When they introduced the Shaq documentary about that lady basketball player, and Shaq was up there looking like he was about to cry, it put a damper on the rest of the thing for me.
Yes,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
It's not. It's supposed to be festive.
Yep. It put a damper on the rest. No, so no matter, and Shaq was trying to pull himself together, trying to talk about the stuff, and he couldn't because he was emotional about the lady that passed away That passed away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all of it was whack, bro. All of it.
No, I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
But let me ask you this, AD, because you shot down my tournament idea.
Yes.
Listen to this. This is how I'm gonna persuade you into coming to my side. Because Uncle Freezie is right 100% of the time. Right? This is how I'm gonna persuade you, right? If we had used that idea in the 80s, the year Larry Nance won the dunk contest, 8 teams with 8 players, you get to choose who you want. Right now, in that scenario, you have Michael Jordan picking a team, right, of all-stars. You have Dominique Wilkins picking his team of All-Stars. You have Larry Bird picking his team of All-Stars. You have Magic Johnson picking his team of All-Stars. Dr. J, so on and so forth. All these dudes with their teams coming into a gym, best team win for $1 million, right? Now, as an NBA fan, even though I love the Knicks, I'm like, wow. Can you imagine a team of Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Pat Ewing, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, all these dudes ganging up on one team to beat Michael Jordan's team? Michael Jordan versus Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Elijah Wan, Ralph Sampson, all these guys on another team for $1 million, right? Now, the stardom back then was real stardom. Stardom right now is phony baloney social media stardom. When you was a star back then, you earned it. Right now, nowadays, if you're a star right now, it's because your social media presence is popping, right? Because your outfits be fly, right? Yeah. It's because Karl Anthony Towns wore a chain around his waist that was dope. I'm sorry, Kareem dunked on Jack Sigma. I think I prefer that. You feel me? So if you look at it in that sense, stars putting together their own team for $1 million, best team win, and they get bragging rights around the league. Bro, come on, man. What are we talking about?
That's not what you've explained it now twice. That's not what the All-Star weekend is for. If you had from where you put it, if you had did it 25, 30 years ago when those guys were blood enemies, that's different. It probably could carry the night because those guys didn't want to clique up with one another. See what I'm saying? It wasn't the NBA All-Star weekend wasn't as much of a Hollywood production. Time has moved on in certain regards as far as with hip hop and the pop culture and so forth. It's just moved on. It's never going to be that way. Not for an All-Star weekend.
Okay.
It's about how many parties from All-Star weekend generally starts from somewhere around Wednesday. So from Wednesday, everything is getting set up through till Sunday and then
night,
the next game, and then regular season starts again on Tuesday.
Thursday night.
Right? So it's pretty much a week off.
Right.
A week of being around the pool. You know what I mean? Being at that hot party. It's not about the seriousness of the game. Trust me, Freeze, if they just made everything else around it better, more entertaining, you wouldn't really care about the game as much because everything else was,
well, why do the game instead of just do parties? Why do the game at all and just not do the Oscars?
Because the game is kind of the Oscars.
The game is not the Oscars, bro.
It's a midway Oscars, Freezie.
Nah, it's not a midway Oscars.
It's a midway Oscars, and you may have a memorable moment or two, and you may get to hear, like I said, if you did the trading deadline, the trade right up on the eve of the All-Star week, you could consistently have during the game talking about trades that happened and new teammates. So you'd have a running theme all night long. Let's not beat this topic in the head. Next up to bat, where are we going?
Your man Obi Toppin is garbage.
You've been saying that now for 2 months. You've yet to prove it, but okay.
Here's my proof.
Okay.
Here's my proof. The Knicks have had 5 dunk contest winners in their franchise history, right?
Yep.
Can you name them? You don't have to. I'm just asking you a yes or no question. I'm just asking a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bro, all these dudes present one thing. They are first round picks that provide nothing to the NBA. The Knicks have won it 5 times with 3 different dudes. Right? 5 times with 3 different dudes. And all these dudes present you one thing. Tantalizing athletic ability that doesn't translate into tantalizing NBA skills.
Okay. I'm sorry you feel that way, Uncle Freezie. You know, and you're right. Because I said something last night and I said, well, if I was the Knicks, I wouldn't participate in the slam dunk competition anymore. Because every time we win it, it's a bad number because it doesn't do anything for us.
Right.
It doesn't povo us into something better, you know, in the second half of the season.
We always win the dunk contest in a bad season.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for us. So on that, you're right. Or I agree with you. You know, I'm sure there's other people out there who don't think that you're correct or agree with us. But here's the problem for you, Uncle Freezie. You have decided ever since the first week of January that Obi Toppin was garbage.
No.
No,
it go back further. Now go back further than that. No, I go back further than that. It go back to last year.
Because the first quarter of this past season of this season coming up, Obi Toppin was playing well. He was getting minutes. The second unit was playing well, and you know, to quote KRS, you didn't hear a peep from Freezie. Obi Toppin. But because you've gotten this grand delusion in your mind that Obi Toppin can check himself into a game, that Obi Toppin can ship himself off to Westchester, that Obi Toppin can do everything on the face of the earth pertaining to his career, that he's now a bust. That yes, Obi Toppin made them draft him if Julius Randle's still here. Obi Toppin made them not trade for Tyrese Halliburton. Obi Toppin made them not get a proper point guard on this team. Obi Toppin made them go get some guy with a Bob and not Marley. That's what Obi Toppin did. Right? And that's what, hold on just 1 second here, because since you want to start this, let me get on my preaching shit right now. Because since you went with this nonsense, right? Amen to the congregation on this Sunday. Because that's what Obi Toppin did. Right? That's what Obi Toppin did, right? He did all of those things, right? Obi Toppin made the Knicks give out early Christmas gifts in August, right? Obi Toppin made them give New Orleans Noel, Burks, Rose, Randall, all these guys that have gotten multi-year contracts off of a one playoff entry with one win. Obi Toppin made Worldwide West go into the owner's ear and telling him, you know what? This is Thibodeau's fault. All these things is Obi Toppin's fault. Get out of here with your nonsense. Cut it out.
I almost asked you if you want to put the link in the chat so that you can get some help. Because you losing this argument so bad that you might need some help.
No, you need some help. You need a lot of help. You need from all of your universe, from all of those who want to quote authors and whatever, who knows nothing about basketball. Right? Who knows nothing about basketball? Guys who say, they're playing chess, not checkers.
No, I didn't say. I never said that. I never said that.
You've never said that, but I've heard it in the universe, right?
You know, right? you know, I think they're inept. You know, I think they're
Skelly right now.
Yeah,
right. Management can't play Skelly right now.
No. But I agree with you.
But you want to blame Obi Toppin for all of this?
No, I don't. I just
You
want
want
to
to be
blame.
Obi Toppin for the new talk. Wait till Rose gets back. Yeah, because Rose, who's been injured for the last 10 years in some parts of the season, is gonna come back and right the wrong.
Right now,
He's gonna
it's Derrick
sprinkle the
Rose'
Rose
fault.
magical dust, and
It's
everything is gonna be better.
it's Derrick Rose' fault that Obi Toppin's a bust. Right, and I got you, and so to my point, I have always said the front office is inept. You have never heard me call them genius, right? I've always said that. But here is where your argument goes from facts to emotion. Obi Toppin is not averaging 7 minutes a game. He's averaging 15 minutes a game, right? All right. Obi Toppin is not producing on the court. And in the month of February, he is shooting 32% from the floor and 11% from three, right? Overall.
Can you pull up his last? Can you pull up Obi Toppin's last?
Wait. Let me finish.
His last 7 games and give me his minutes played?
Yeah, let me finish. Let me finish my thing, because you said 7 minutes, right? And even okay, I'll satisfy that. In his last 8 games played, he's averaging 10 minutes a game. Right? But you said 7. You said 7.
So you know, I know because 7 and 10 and so is such a great distance. It's
right.
Such a great distance.
No. My
and
point is,
you can do so much more with 3 minutes more. Yeah, I know.
How did you like those? How did you like those powerful dunks you saw from Obi last night?
I didn't care for Obi in the slam dunk competition.
But he's a dunker. That's what he did.
I would much rather to know he was somewhere working on his game.
That's what he was born to do, bro. That's Dunker's Delight's son. He was born to do this. His father's name is Dunker's Delight. What else do you expect?
Is that what we're going now?
His father's name is not Shooter's Delight.
Rebounder's
Delight.
Is that what we're going
Dunker's
now?
Delight.
Is that where we're going now? You're going to convict the man because he has superior athletic gene running through his vein? Is that where we're going now, Freezie?
Yo, this argument just sounds desperate, man. It just sounds
your
desperate.
Argument because you're a desperate man. Why? Because you're a fan of the New York Knicks and you're upset. You're upset that you didn't kill these moves when I was killing them. That's why you're upset. You're upset because you welcomed in the Frenchman, right?
No.
You welcomed in Kemba Walker, right? You welcomed in Worldwide West and Leon No Dose Rose. That's why you're upset.
No,
don't take it out on Obi.
That's not why I'm upset. You know why I'm upset? I'll tell you why I'm upset. Because the Knicks brought in dudes like Tony Campbell, like LeVar Postel, like Mike Woodson, like Obi Toppin, like Kevin Knox, like John Thomas, right? We bring in guys like this all the time. And instead of us acknowledging that they are a mistake from day one, we romanticize their time here, right? Like they are actually something. Don't be trying to romanticize Dante Jones's time here. Dante Jones was a bust. You don't even remember Dante Jones, right?
I don't remember ever seeing him on the court. So I can't call him a bust or not. I just know he never played.
Right. You don't even remember Walter McCarty's time with the Knicks.
I remember seeing him play, but was he
memorable? Was he memorable? No.
No.
Right. So we romanticize these first round lottery busts, these first round draft busts, like they are something in real time, when long term we know they were nothing.
Yeah, and you don't ever see. And 10 minutes a game it's a fair way to assess what you have, because somebody's getting 10 minutes a game, and because he's poorly put in a place to where to get the best out of him, because
really, man, really, this is what we doing.
He's not even playing behind Randall. He's
really,
playing behind Taj Gibson.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong.
AD, this is what we doing. You doing the skeleton dance, bro, for Obi Toppin? That's what we doing.
You're just not Freezie. You're just with your fair. I'm trying to be fair to you, Freezie, but you're just out of this world with your analysis on someone that wasn't put in the best position to succeed.
Frank. We talk. Who we talk about? Frank Ntilikina? Is this who we're
No,
talking about right now?
Talking about Obi Toppin.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Frank didn't get any minutes at point guard. You're right. Frank Ntilikina didn't get all the minutes he deserved.
Frank got a whole lot of minutes at point guard. Frank got a whole lot of minutes to see what he can do. That's not the same for Obi Toppin.
This is the Frank debate, bro. This is the Frank Ntilikina debate all over again.
Who was here in front of Frank? Who was here in front of Frank to stop Frank? Who?
Bro, this is the Frank debate. Yo,
it's not.
You sure you don't want to put the link in the chat to get you some help?
No. You may need you some help because you're absolutely delusional, and you've been this way every day for the last 2.5 months. You find some way to pick on Obi Toppin because he should be the point guard, the power forward, and the center. You still can't. You still don't understand. Why are they playing a 36-year-old over this young man?
Because the young man is trash.
Okay.
That's why. And it's not even Obi Toppin. I'm not picking on Obi. I'm picking on the number 8 pick. Most teams that pick 8 have a dude that contribute every night. He forces his way into the lineup. I'm tired of the Knicks picking 8 and 9 every year and not getting a contributor. And then we get mad. We mad at Julius Randle because he can't perform. Right? The thing is, at 8 and 9, we pick 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9.
Let me ask you a question.
Every year, and we don't get a guy.
Let me ask you this question. All right. What were our needs 2 years ago going into that draft? Did we need another power forward?
No.
Okay. So you're blaming him because the inept management decides to draft a power forward, and for 2 years they have no plan in what to do.
Listen to me. You sound irrational. I just said before you spoke that I'm tired of the Knicks picking 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9, and not getting a contributor. And then you ignored what I said and said that I have hate
because he was contributing. Because he was contributing. The first half of the season, when the bench looked like like the best parts of the team, he was a major contributor, a major factor.
He was. He was a major contributor. I'm gonna look up his stats.
He was. What was he averaging? 9 points, 4 rebounds in 13 minutes a game.
When?
What do you want a person to do in 13 minutes a game? He should be averaging what in 13 minutes a game?
Bro,
13 points, 8 rebounds.
At 23 years old, you're supposed to be NBA ready. These kids are coming out at 19, and this dude came out at 22.
Yeah, but you can't pass the ball to yourself. You can't drum up plays for yourself.
Y'all get mad at Randall for doing it. You get mad at Randall for doing it.
Totality of why he's underperforming in your eyes.
This thing is not even. So here's the thing, as Knicks fans, what we're doing is 3-card Monty, right? Obi Toppin is not it. Uncle Freezie said he's tired of the 8 and 9 pick not being a solid contributor to the team. Right? If we had used the 8 pick on Tyrese Halliburton, and Halliburton wouldn't have been something, I'd have been like, okay, I get it. I'm with you. We made the wrong pick. Right? But to pick Obi when you know you needed a point guard, and so that's not Obi's fault, to your point. That's why this is 3-card Monty. It's not Obi's fault, right? But Can you contribute on the board? Can you block some shots? Can you back up Mitch? Right? Can you do other things on the court aside from dunk? That's the point that I'm getting at. When I'm not mad at Obi, I'm mad at the number 8 pick being a bust.
Okay. That's your opinion. Okay. I can't fight you for your opinion. You know, you don't want to see the extenuating factors around this, but okay. Okay, because all of those things contribute.
Right. So hear me out on this. What if at 8 they picked a player that was contributing every night? Right? At the 8 pick, say they picked a player that contributed every night. We wouldn't even be having this conversation because he didn't have to be a star, baby, to be in my show. All he had to do was contribute. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point to it. I get tired of the Knicks. With the number 8 pick in the draft, the Knicks select Frank Ntilikina. With the number 9 pick in the NBA draft, the Knicks select Kevin Knox. With the number 8 pick, the New York Knicks select Obi Toppin. Right? All these dudes are busts, and the conversation is the same. Well, he ain't getting no minutes. The coach must be dumb. He ain't playing the kid. How you draft him 8 or 9 and don't play him? It's the same dumb argument. We just move it from player to player. And nobody yet has said anything intriguing enough for me to change my stance. It's always the coach is dumb. The coach too dumb. The coach too dumb to recognize the talent. Really? How about we come up with some better thoughts, be more thoughtful?
No.
Saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Because sometimes it is
right.
what it is. See, you want to move, you want to change the goalpost around, but why do you need to? When if the facts are what the facts are, you see, you can't. I give you a new toy, right? I give you Cam Reddish, a new toy. Whatever you think about him, he's a new toy. Your first press conference, your second press conference, your third press conference is you don't know where, because you're upset because management didn't make the moves that you wanted them to make. So being that, you don't even want to try to see, where could you use him? Where could you utilize him best? Where could he help be a contributor? See, that's where this is the coach's problem.
Oh,
Freezie, Uncle Freezie.
Right.
I saw them playing, the OKC game, the LA game, the Brooklyn game. In those games, they didn't have decidedly mismatches in the front court, meaning center position, power forward position. That's not where they were getting killed. So you're worried about, okay, we're going to get out rebounded 15, 20 rebounds, but that's not where they were getting killed. You could have, as a coach, made your own mismatch, right? They weren't playing against Cleveland. They weren't playing against teams they weren't playing against
AD, how many years of coaching do you have in the NBA?
0.
Right. Me either. I don't have none either. None.
Ask me now how many years of experience I have watching the NBA.
A lot. And then listen. There are only a few people that I would even consider to put in a category with you when it comes to basketball knowledge. On the court, off the court, and history. Period. It's why you and I rock on Sunday mornings. Right? It's why you and I rock together. Because I respect your basketball knowledge immensely, right? Not just, Tibbs rotations is whack. Nah. I know you know your stuff, right? What I'm saying on this point that we're talking about, you are not listening to what I'm saying. And you assume that I have it out for Obi Toppin personally.
No.
Right? As opposed to the pick. That's what it feels like to me.
No.
Like I have an axe to
I
grind
just
against
don't think
Obi
you're
when it's
taking.
not.
I just don't think you're taking all of the factors in when you're making this judgment on this young man. On this one particular topic, when it comes with Obi, I don't think you're looking at all the factors. Is he the best rebounder? No, he's not. Is he what he was defensively when he first came into the league last year? No, he's not. It's better than what he was defensively when he first came into the league last year. You see? All I'm saying is, in order to get the best out of any young product that you have to believe in it. The same way he believes in Emmanuel Quickly taking 40 footers from the bottom of his shoes, the same way he believes in Emmanuel Quickly as a point guard when he clearly is not. Right? That's what we're asking for. The same belief that you have in one young player, but you don't have it in the same young player. I've seen Emmanuel Quickly this season do some things that I wondered, how come the coach didn't pull him out of the game and have him sit right next to him? Right next to him. You remember that? You remember that play 2 years ago when Patrick Ewing was coaching the game and it was like viral. When Ewing was like, yo, did you practice that shot? Right? One of these coaching moments where you gotta be like, yo, dude, what are you doing out there? Right? But he's not gonna do that because why? He believes in Quickly. So how come it's not the same for some of the other young pieces? That's all I'm saying. It's never good to have dead air on the podcast.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe that you are going to bat for Obi Toppin.
Not I'm going to bat Obi Toppin, Freezie. I'm going to bat against that Tibbs coaching style and the things he's done. You see, it's not just one. It's like I can't say Julius Randle is the total problem here. No, he's part of the problem. Just like management is part of the problem. Just like the coach is part of the problem. Just like Obi's a part of the problem. Just like Quickly's a part of the problem. It's a team that was not matched correctly. Uncle Freezie, they added two pieces to this team that I know if the coach was under truth serum, you wouldn't even have to waterboard this dude. He would give it up. No, I did not want the Frenchman. No, I did not want Kemba Walker. Right? But when they added those pieces, I heard from people, oh my God. Oh, you know why? Because, the fourth seed was a figment of our imagination. And because they got to the fourth seed, we shouldn't have expected them to do any better. Because why? They wasn't that good anymore after all. But that's your job as management. It's your job as management not to go backwards, but to go forwards. And at the very least, stay the same.
Right.
So they all culpable in that. That's all I'm saying, Uncle Freezie. I refuse to kill our young like that. I'm not going to do that without proper evidence. Yes, sir.
I just don't believe what I'm hearing.
You can sit there in amazement all you want.
I just don't believe what I'm hearing.
No, you believe it. You believe it.
Don't.
You believe it.
I can't believe that you are going to bat for a player that's not producing.
Because I believe, but I'm also going to bat for. I'm also going to bat for Cam Reddish. I'm also going to bat for Miles McBride.
Right.
You know what we talked about, Freezie, in the summer, and I remember you and I had this conversation. I think we might also had the conversation offline, where I was like, look, I would love to go to practice, right? Because these young boys, they're gonna be giving these vets the business in practice. Because we what we saw out of them in the summer camp, those couple of days, we came away thinking, all right, they got something.
We the deepest team in the NBA. That's what people were telling me.
Right, we got something. May not be the players that we wanted them to draft necessarily, but we saw some things out of them, especially that backcourt of McBride and Grimes, and the little that we seen out of Sims. Like, you know what? Okay, got a little something here. We don't know what it is just yet, but they look like NBA players. Okay? There were times during the season when you and I were texting back and forth, and I'm like, Freezie, he could have interjected Grimes right here. He could have interjected. I'm not saying play him 15 minutes a game, but there's a couple of games there after the 5-1 start, because let's just be honest, the first 6 games of the season was the best 6-game stretch or the best stretch of the team's season. Can you agree with me on that? They were 5-1.
Yeah.
Right? They've only had, I think, one other stretch where they won like 3 or 4 games in a row or something to that effect. But the beginning, the 5-1, when Cats was running off, when the first game when they hit 28 threes, remember that? First game against, who's that against? Orlando or Detroit? 28 threes. We were like, woo! This is about to be something, right? We were feeling so good. And then, like the hours, like the sand in the hourglass, I feel like
these are the days of our lives. Yep.
It just started coming out little by little, and we all are looking around going, what happened? What is this?
Hey, so this is what I'm talking about. Hey, shout out to Paul LeBate, right? He says, now if we give him 30 a game for a bit, we can see really what he is, but we don't know. Wait a minute. So you saying give Obi Toppin 30 minutes a game, right? And salute too, by the way. Good morning. Whatever happened to players earning more minutes? Hey, so Paris Duggan, thank you for the generous contribution. He says, speak on Randall playing 330 more minutes than anyone. This is simple. Julius Randle is better than Obi Toppin, and Obi Toppin don't deserve nothing.
Freezie. Let's do a proper recap of the Knicks' first half of the season. I'm not sure if you're ready for our, good, the bad, and the ugly segments. But even if you're not, we don't need post-up cards to handle it. The good, the first 5 games of the season. Quick, short, to the point. Yeah. The bad, the coach calls out RJ Barrett. And this is how you know this guy is a little sick in the head. Because when he first called out RJ Barrett, during him calling him out for not hitting the gym the way he was last season and so forth, somewhere in his explanation he goes, well, he's dealing with some stuff, right? He's dealing with, something that he's never said what he was dealing with, right? But you started off blaming him because he wasn't taking enough shots, but yet he was also dealing with something. Am I lying?
I didn't see it totally that way, but yeah, I get it.
But that's what the coach said.
Yeah,
he was blaming him for being lazy, because that's basically what you're doing when you say he's not putting in the work, he's being lazy, but yet still he's dealing with something which is affecting his gameplay. How about when he benched Kemba, when he banished him to the bench, and I don't know when he's gonna, there's no timetable for this. It's just, he's going to the bench. right? At no point in time did management come out and either support your coach's decision or make the fan base kind of understand what the plan is with that. It was just, that's it. And then we get to hear it's only $8 million. You know, AD, you was no. Because that was $8 million. You could have did something else with it.
I know this. I'm with you. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing any of that.
Ugly, blowing multiple 20-point leads in the second half. Do I need to describe ugly any further? You know what? For the hell of it, I'm here. I'm here. You're here. We're here. Nothing really on the agenda on this Sunday. Let's delve into these 20-point losses that we've had and why the coach has not been fired. And why the season is just like days of our lives, just sand just going away. Can you answer that, Freezie? Why haven't the Knicks fired the coach?
No, I'm not answering that.
I didn't say
and the reason why is not just because I want to be a stickler or a prick. That's not why. The reason why I don't want to answer that is because it's the emotional Knicks fans outlet. It's their escape for the bigger issue. And instead of addressing the bigger issue, here we want to point the finger at the coach. Right? That's just what we do as Knicks fans.
Has he done it?
And sometimes I just think we don't deserve nothing.
Let me rephrase it.
Why Pat Riley left? Why Pat Riley left? I think it's because Pat Riley knew that you can't satisfy Knicks fans. Never.
Let me ask you I asked you the question. Do you think he's done a good job coaching this year?
I'm not answering that either.
Yo, I've asked you 2 questions you can't answer.
I can. I'm just not gonna do so.
The first half of the season, and you're gonna tell me you can't answer a fair question. Is do you think he's done a good job coaching?
Who said the question was fair? You did.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
It's my question.
Right.
Me, you, and Nick Newton's out here.
So in my belief, I think the roster is trash. I think, and I said it on the Knicks Morning Drive. I think we have the 27th best roster in the NBA. Right, and last year I think we had the 25th best roster in the NBA, but Tibbs and Randall drug dead bodies to the playoffs.
So to your point, he can only coach a certain kind of roster.
No. The roster is not just about the coach; it's about the players too. Right? Right. So it's about the players too.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? The thing is I do believe Obi is better than the people in front of him. But you got to do something when you on the floor, B. That's what I'm saying. Come on. Y'all, the chat has been twisting my words the whole time. They're not listening. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to do something while you on the floor. You can't just be out there not rebounding and cherry picking the other way for a dunk.
Okay, so but to my question, what kind of team do you think this coach would be best suited for? Can you answer that question?
Man, listen, no coach is suited for this roster that we have right now.
Oh, this is the worst roster you've ever seen put together?
Hey, AD, this might be, I'm going to say this, and you might think I'm wrong here, but this might be the worst roster we've ever seen in Knicks history since we've been watching it. Watching the Knicks. Yes.
No, it's not.
It may be. It's at least in the conversation.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near those Michael Doliak led teams. It's
But they were winning more games than we won now.
Nowhere near. It is
The
nowhere.
early 2000s teams,
No.
post Houston, post Sprewell, they were winning more games than we're winning right now.
With Don Chaney, I think two of those years, those teams won 25 and 24 games respectively. No, you would not. You would not do that.
Yes, this team is in that conversation, AD.
How many wins do we have right now?
25.
Okay.
How many games were those teams winning? 34?
No, not post. Don Chaney had like 2 years of like 25 and 26 wins or something like that. Memory serves me correctly. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Not when Houston got hurt and when they moved out Sprewell and they moved out Canby. No. Don't do that. Not them Shannon Anderson, Howard Isley team.
Isley years.
Oh no, sir.
Yeah, this roster, AD. This roster is terrible, bro.
This roster has someone that made second team All NBA last year. Right. Those rosters didn't have that. This roster has a number 3 pick on it. Those rosters did not have that. Those rosters had Sweetney.
Yeah, John Thomas.
Yeah. No, don't do that. See now, Freezie, you accuse us of being emotional. You make an emotional response by saying that.
AD. All right, AD. Then I'm gonna just read off some years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just read off some years because you're wrong, but you my man.
Okay, right? Go ahead.
In 2001, 2002, the Knicks won 30 games. In 2002, 2003, the Knicks won 37 games. In 2003, 2004, this is the year that I targeted, right? They won 39 games. They won more games than I anticipated. They did. So I was wrong there too. They won more than I thought. So I was wrong right there too. But 2004.
Go ahead. Chaney wasn't there in 2004. Chaney wasn't there.
Let me get to him though. Let me get to him.
Go
so
ahead.
2004, 2005, the Knicks won 33 games. 2005, right under Larry Brown. And so the Chaney years that you mentioned, the Chaney years, 2002, 2003, Don Chaney, head coach of the Knicks, was 37 and 45. Don Chaney in 2003, 2004, head coach of the Knicks, was 39 and 43. They fired him, brought in Lenny Wilkins, right? Lenny Wilkins was 33 and 49. They fired him, brought in Larry Brown. Larry Brown was 23 and 59. They fired him and brought in Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah was 33 and 49. Then 23 and 59. Then 32. Then Mike D'Antoni was 32 and 50. 29 and 53. 42 and 40. And it goes on and on all the way to today. So to your point, I get what you're getting at. Because even though the records said one thing, they played a lot worse than what their record indicated they were. Because the expectations were different. We should have been winning and we were not winning. My bad.
They're comparable. I stand correct. Those teams are definitely comparable to this team. We're right there. It may be they're right there. But
this team, this roster, AD, what I'm saying, man, is this. What I'm saying to you is this. Right? I love the Knicks. And even what's rivaling that right now, even though I love the Knicks, I love talking Knicks with you, which makes it more fun, right? For me. But right now, bro, what I'm saying is, as somebody as seasoned as us as Knicks fans, we have to recognize what we're looking at, man. What we're looking at is not a team of promise. What we're looking at is a disaster. And the thing is, we want it to be good, but it's not.
No, it's not.
And in years past, we would have booed this mess off the floor. We'd have been talking so much trash about this team. but we like this team, even though they're trash. So we give them a pass. That's all I'm getting at, bro.
No, there's nothing for me. There's nothing to like. I have beat this team. I mean, let me backtrack. I like some of the young pieces that we have. I like Sims. You know, why is he not playing more? Why is Todd Gibson playing over? I have no idea. I like Miles McBride. Why is he not playing more? I have no idea.
Right.
You know, I've always liked Grimes.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, I like RJ Barrett. You know, but I've said some things that I asked a couple of questions, and Knicks fans thought I was crazy because, you know, pertaining to, you know, Tyrese Halliburton, and I want to move away from that trade deadline day, because you know what, let me just move away from it, because it's just gonna bring back,
right.
It's gonna bring disgusting memories, and yeah, I won't even bring it up, but I like some of the young pieces that we have, but I just thought that management should have done better coming off of the season that they had, or even if they didn't come off of a 4th seed. You have to make forward moves. You see, again, this is how the owner gets to firing people.
Right.
Because you're not even where you were, you're going backwards.
Right.
And we're not, and hold on just 1 second, Freezie, to something that we were having a conversation, a couple of days ago. It's like it's supposed to right itself and fix itself, in the air. Some things are supposed to drop down, and we're supposed to have an, immaculate conception of a well-done team. No one wants to, outside of we blame management, I blame management. Some of the things that some of the people and some of their takes that I've heard, it's like you don't want to blame management for putting this team together, but management is not blaming management for why this team is not going where they're supposed to go. You think that leap this week to SNY did not come from inside of Knicks organization? Of course it did.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Of course it did. And you, Dolan, you're looking around like, yo, before this management team recruited a player, before anything happened, you, Leon Rose, you done spent $15 to $20 million of my money.
Yeah. On salaries.
On salaries for executive staff.
Yep. Yep.
Before anyone did anything, you spent like $20 million of my money.
Yep. Yep.
And remember, I have a board that I have to answer to.
Right.
Because this is not a family-owned entity.
Right.
Everything that gets spent he has to go to his board at some point in time. Back to our conversation that we had a few days ago on Knicks Morning Drive, with Dolan and so forth. At some point, they review salaries, they review expenditures. Like, okay, how does this work? How did this work? How much money is Brock Holler making? How much money is this? You paid Payne $4 million per year? Really?
Right. And he's not even the associate head coach.
He's not even the associate head coach.
So because what happens is every time I talk about Obi Toppin and the number 8 pick, we start talking about something else, right? All I want to clarify is this. I'm not an Obi Toppin hater, right? What I want is production out of our lottery picks. Like, say for this year, AD, listen, check this out. This is a hypothetical, right? The Knicks have a lost season, right? And they don't make the play-in game, and they're in the lottery. And they pick somewhere between 6 and 10. So I'm just going to average it out and say 8. And at 8, the Knicks, with that pick, don't address point guard because this is not a point guard draft. It's a power forward draft. And the Knicks take a bouncy young big, right? And that big plays 2 seasons behind Julius Randle and Obi Toppin and doesn't produce anything. But say he wins the 3-point contest at All-Star Weekend. Do you think that player is going to contribute to winning? I'm going to say no. And would Uncle Freezie be frustrated with that pick? Yes. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, my thing against Obi is not a thing against Obi. My thing against Obi is a thing against Obi. Right?
Your thing against Obi is not a thing against Obi, but your thing against Obi is a thing against Obi.
Against Obi. Right. Notice I use voice inflection in there too to separate and distinguish. Like, my thing against Obi, it's like, say for instance, if we'd have taken Obi with the 25 pick, I wouldn't have an issue with it. Because the guy that we picked 8th should have been contributing. Right? But since Obi was picked 8th, we need for him to contribute right away. Because you brought up the 25-point lead. Hey, how come we keep losing these 20-point leads? Bro, if the number 8 pick was contributing and RJ Barrett was healthy, I think those leads wouldn't have went away. That's what I'm saying.
And then I'll chime in.
Now is that fair? No. But they said Obi Toppin was NBA ready.
Yeah, but if management had gotten us a point guard, because every one of those games that we lost, Freezie, was because we didn't have somebody to settle the ship in the rough waters. Remember something, Freezie, and I know you know this, like I know Nick Nation knows this. Basketball is a game of runs. A team is expected to run on a 15 to 2 run. It's basketball. Because remember, guys get tired and you're doing mismatchup to take advantage of certain things that's going on. So if the best player who's hot has to get a couple of minutes, you're hoping now to get a run while the best 2 players are on the bench. That's basketball.
Right.
But what wins games is when you have heady leadership. Perfect case in point. One of the biggest shots that ever was made in Madison Square Garden was the Larry Johnson 3-point play.
4-point play. Yeah, I get you.
3-point play. He hit the shot, right? The fans around the globe in the Garden goes bananas.
Right.
Who was the one person on there that kept his head?
Yeah.
Sprewell, when he ran up on Larry Johnson and kept his head, said, "No, you gotta go hit this shot.
We need this shot right here. Calm down. Everybody chill out. Everybody chill out. This ain't over."
Chris Chop. Remember that?
Yep.
Point guard, right? Because Larry could have easily started chest bumping everybody and doing his thing, right? But
right.
The floor general at the time walked him up to the line, left him alone. Larry does his thing, hits the shot, we win the game. We know what happens then. That's what I'm talking about, Freezie. It's not that what you're saying is unreasonable, right? For Obi, or shouldn't be expected for Obi and RJ and whatever, but you have to have the main ingredient in the soup for the soup to taste good.
No soup for you. No soup for you. No soup for you.
Yo, how do you make macaroni and cheese without the cheese?
Hey man, macaroni. You know, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. But AD, it's so the thing is, the reason why I'm saying, like Knicks fans are emoting a certain thing, and it's not fair. Because just like what you said about a floor general for Obi and them, right? The 20-point lead thing going away. You need a point guard in that scenario too, to your point. To your point. All of these things go together, tie together, right? But I just think it's unfair when we talk about Obi. We put him on a pedestal where he can't be touched, right? But we don't address the point guard situation and how bad it's been. The point guard situation has been terrible, right? You have run out Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, and Emmanuel Quickley at point guard, right? And people keep telling me that this is not the worst Knicks roster they've ever seen, right? When you have to run a bench rotational combo guard as your starting point guard, this is one of the worst Knicks rosters you've ever seen.
Okay.
When Taj Gibson is playing 20 minutes, this is one. Imagine if Herb Williams played 20 minutes a night.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. It's one of them things, man. Like people will knock my stance on Obi and others because they don't understand my experiences. So I've been through so much as a Knicks fan that you can't judge on your experiences. Like I see some people in the chat think that I'm a Knicks hater, right? Why would I? If I was a Knicks hater, why would I dedicate this much time to the Knicks?
That you a double agent?
Yeah. And what it is the new subscribers probably hadn't seen all the shows prior to this, and no slight on them, right? Because I'm glad they're here, right? But bro, they ain't heard our talks about me crying at school when Clyde Frazier got traded. You know what I'm saying? They ain't heard how my first experience with the young core was Bill Cartwright, Michael Ray Richardson, and Mike Woodson. Oh, this young core of guys we got, man, they gonna be something. They don't even remember Mike Woodson. They don't even know Mike Woodson was drafted by the Knicks.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? They don't remember the Darryl Walker years at point guard. The original Frank Ntilikina. They don't even remember them.
The original
Rory
Frank
Sparrow, Trent Tucker. Used to play on Channel 9 against the Nets when the Nets had Albert King and Otis Birdsong. You know what I'm saying?
With Butch Beard and
God damn it.
Carmella doing the show.
Yeah, Ken the Animal Bannister fighting with Buck Williams.
Oh my God. It just, this is before we had MSG.
Right.
MSG was around, but they didn't have their network before we had cable and so forth. So you had to hope to be able to catch the game on Channel 9, or you was just gonna listen to the game on the radio. So
yeah,
that's where the love, you know what I mean? Like Christmas Day, Bernard King dropped 60 points in a game they lost to the Nets.
Right. Or Saturday afternoon, the Lakers are at Madison Square Garden, and all the kids run from outside and go to somebody's backyard, and somebody put the TV outside for us to watch the Knicks game, the Knicks against the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
No, the love is real. The love is real. And I want to speak directly to Knicks management here. Freezie, I remember when they hired this management team and he did not speak to the fans.
Right.
So many fans I heard say, well, aren't you tired of winning the press conference? Aren't you tired? And I people even who I trust with basketball, before I met you guys and, developed this camaraderie and came on and with this podcast and stuff. I'm like
this right here is better, bro. You a star with this right here. This right here is better than them.
I think you a star, brother. You know what I mean? But for that, but I'm like, is it me? Am I getting past my prime and my basketball acknowledgement, or anyone who takes over a franchise? You want to know what they know about basketball.
Right.
What's their philosophy? Whether you're tired of hearing guys talk or not, it doesn't matter. These guys came and went. Here's this new guy. Whether you agree with Phil Jackson or not, he was Chief Triangle. They even had, remember, a Spike Lee production about understanding the triangle.
Yeah.
Horrible production. Didn't need it.
Yeah.
But he talked about where he saw things, his basketball philosophy as the head of the organization, right? At the head of basketball operations. How do you hire somebody who was sitting on the other side of the table, who doesn't speak to the fans, again, on your own network where you could control the environment, to talk to the fans and say, well, fans, this is who I am, Leon Rose, right? This is what I believe. I'm not saying we're going to get a championship tomorrow, but I will not rest until I come up with the formula to win a championship. End of production. We got nothing like that, Freezie.
Right.
Nothing like that. And
Right.
fans didn't think it strange.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. Because it was the perfect fit. Knicks PR is the goal. Because for one, in the New York tri-state area, we love this Mafia Don style thing and a lot of stuff. We love it. I watch Scarface at least once a year. I watch The Godfather often.
Often. Still great movies.
Yeah. No doubt. And I like that. And I like that mafioso style, Don style, organized rebellion family type thing. So when Leon Rose came in and looked the part, he didn't speak the part. He just looked it. He looked the part.
Why? Because his stomach looked like. Why? Because his stomach looked like he eats yeast in the morning and at night.
And at night. and lasagna in between all day. Yeah, but whatever. But whatever. Oh, Carlito's Way. That's my joint too, though. Carlito's Way. That's my joint right there.
All three of those movies you just mentioned a while ago are super classics. But
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. But my point is, the point is we got bamboozled, right? Because a guy came in, looked the part, did the bare minimum, right? He did the press conference on Zoom with one person, asking prefab questions, and they were prefab questions because they listed the question at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
The producer wouldn't have known what the questions were going to be and what animations to put. I know because I do production. So I wouldn't have known, or the producer wouldn't have known what questions to put if he didn't know already, right?
Right.
Then he immediately pushed it off to Scott Perry again, and then that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah. So Knicks fans, listen. I don't have a beef with Obi Toppin. I have a beef with Obi Toppin's production. And I have a beef with the number 8 pick constantly not producing a sustainable player for our team year in and year out. Whether it be Jordan Hill, whether it be Kevin Knox, or who was picked at 9. But I'm talking about in that range. Whether it be Mike Sweetney, whether it be whoever in that range of 6 through 10 or whatever. I'm tired of guys getting drafted there and being busts. I watched the draft the year we got Jordan Hill, and Jordan Hill said, "Yeah, I'm coming in to prove them wrong." They booed me at the draft. I'm gonna prove them wrong. They'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We're still waiting.
Yep. Before we close, Freezie, I know we coming close to it. I wanna ask you, what do you want to see for the second half of the season?
Here's the interesting thing. right? And chat, I want y'all to hear me clearly on this, right? Hear me clearly on this. Don't take what I say and twist it into a thing. Like, don't just listen to bits and pieces. I want the Knicks, right, to groom a star, right, out of somebody who wasn't getting much playing time before. Not RJ, not Randall, right? Give you an example. I would love to see Cam Reddish average 25 and 5 the rest of the way. Or Quentin Grimes average 25 and 5 the rest of the way, in addition to the production that Randall and RJ gives us. I would love to see Miles McBride average something reasonable, 25 and 5 down the stretch. I want a star to be born. Right? Like there was a song, right? There's a song back in the day. And so it was written, it was on record in the 80s, but written in the 70s by the great American poet, Melly Mel. Melly Mel said, a child was born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you go through. That's what Melly Mel said, right? So I said that to say this. One of these kids that we are all clamoring for needs to defy the odds and become a star, right? One of these kids, because we know, we all acknowledge that the cards are stacked against them. We all acknowledge this. We cry about it all the time. Where's my baby thing at? Where's my baby thing? Like how y'all be crying about Obi. That's how people be crying about Obi. That's what it looked like to me when they be crying for Obi. Obi. That's what it sounds like to me, man. What I'm saying is I want, even if Obi, say if it's Obi, if Obi averaged 20 and 10 down the stretch in the addition to Julius Randle's current production, I would love to see that. Right? I would love to see that. Right? Because if we don't have a guy in this young core, if we don't have a guy in this young core that can step up and produce that type of number or in that situation, then what are we even doing having these 5-hour-long conversations about these dudes that ain't going nowhere? What's the point? I talk about McBride if in 2 years he gonna be in Portland, the fourth point guard.
Let me say this: what I want for the Knicks in this second half of the season. I always want to see my team do well.
Right.
You know, it's never a feeling for me that I want to, use the T word. Right.
Right.
But we're in a position that unless we don't totally, play our young guys at this point to see what they have, we can't make a fair assessment going forward. And I know we can't bench Randall. We've given him $117 million. He's not being benched. I know we can't bench Fournier, but I believe he could be a part-time player now. I believe his minutes should be, divvied between him and Cam, right? And you can start, I know you can bench Todd for Sims and Obi. You see? I know you can bench Burks for Grimes and McBride. These are the changes that I would like to see done, right? And hopefully RJ gets back healthy. And if the coach can somehow rev up the changes that I state, and somehow they get to a position of the P word, fine. But what would that do? At the end of the day, it would only chalk up to him getting another playoff appearance, so he knows what he was doing, and it will give us a false sense of reality, right? Because this team needs more than what it has. So you going to the playoffs or make it into the playing game or whatever that you may take it as going to be positive, fool's gold. You need more than what you currently have right now.
Right.
James Dolan, you need to look these guys, and I'm sure you're going to have this conversation with them if you haven't already. You need to look this management team in the eyes and put the onus on them like, look, you spent a great deal of my money. I want some return. And if you can't do it, guess what?
Somebody else will.
Okay. And I'm gonna leave it right there, Freezie. I don't think we could say another thing on this topic.
On that one. On that one, yeah. So we got about 9 minutes or so, right? So what I wanted to speak to is the evolution of Knicks universe. What I noticed in Knicks universe is there are a lot of copycat takes, right? And a lot of copycat trains of thoughts, right? The reason why you and I rock so well is because, for one, I listen to you. Like when you speak, I understand where you're coming from. And I respect your experiences as a Knicks fan and New Yorker, right? Because you can't understand the Knicks by themselves and not understand the environment of the city at the same time, right? Because here's the thing, you don't have to be, like, for instance, you don't have to be from Harlem to be a Knicks fan. You could be a Knicks fan anywhere USA, right? Anywhere globally, you can be a Knicks fan, right? My point is though, when a seasoned guy like AD speaks to the current Knicks, referencing Knicks of seasons gone by, instead of talking over AD, we should be listening, right? Because AD, like myself, we grew up in a different era of Knicks fandom, and slowly migrated from the past into the present day. And we've been through a lot. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. AD, I get DM'd often by young people saying, well, why are you mad at the young core? You just a hater. You just want to eat your young. No, man. Nah. This is y'all's first time going through this young core scenario. I've been through this young core scenario 7 to 8 times.
Woo.
You feel me? So when y'all talk about all the newness of this situation, I already been there and done that, right? I already been through the, how do you stop Michael Jordan? Well, you draft a bunch of athletes, right? I already been 85. So how do you stop Michael Jordan? Well, you draft Gerald Wilkins and you draft a whole bunch of athletes with limited basketball skill to try to stop Michael Jordan. How do you remember that, AD? Well, you match athlete with athlete. You remember that?
Yeah.
How do you stop say the run and gun style? Well, you start shooting the three like them, and you make a poster where everybody is about a jet plane and y'all got on fighter jackets. I already been through that, bro. I already been through that.
The bomb squad. Shout out
right.
Shout out to the bomb squad.
Right. I already been there and done that, bro. I've been through this.
You remember who was on that? Who was on that poster?
Yeah, Johnny Newman, Mark Jackson, Gerald Wilkins,
Rod Strickland,
and number 6, Trent Tucker.
And Trent Tucker.
Yep. And so I already been through so many of these scenarios. I get DM'd on Twitter often, like people like, you sound like a Knicks hater, man. You got all these people watching your channel, and all you do is bash the Knicks. A dude said I sound like Howard Stern. All you do is not Howard Stern. What's the other shot? Don Imus. You sound like Don Imus. All you want to do is you're a shot jock. Nah, bro. And if anything, I'm the complete opposite. I'm a Knicks fan that's been disappointed for over 50 years with incompetence. And truth be told, I don't deserve it. Nobody should get, your cats commit murder and get 25 years. I commit to the Knicks and get 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for Knicks universe, what I'm saying is, when cats like AD speak, man, just listen to what he's saying. And don't take it out of context. You feel me? Like when Uncle Freezie saying something, don't look at me as an attention whore, because I'm not. I ain't even that dude. I tell AD all the time that I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. If somebody else was doing old school Knicks, I wouldn't even be on the screen. I tell him that all the time. I be like, AD, you need to, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're like, nah, man, we straight. We gonna rock with what we got. You know what I'm saying? I tell him that often in conversation. AD, am I lying?
Absolutely. But to your point, it's fans could be delusional. That's fans, phonetic. You know what I mean? That's where that comes from. And you're entitled to have certain sense of, delusional thoughts, because what else do you have over these years?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like we love the 90s. They still talk about us.
Right.
Still making books about us.
Right.
We don't have a championship to show for it.
Right. Right.
Can you imagine if we had a championship to show for that, Freezie?
Right, bro.
Like
the name of this channel would be Blowing Smiles.
Yeah.
Instead of Blowing Tears.
And I'm certain at some point in time you're probably gonna have to change the name, because do I believe that we're gonna win a championship? As sure as the sun shines on a dog's ass at some point in time, I believe at some point we will win the championship. But as long as James Dolan owns this team, that has to be the edict. That has to be the mantra. Right. And you got to give guys some space to accomplish that.
I feel you. Dolan has been the man for 22 seasons, right?
Yes.
But there were 28 seasons before that he was not on the owner, and we still didn't win it.
We still didn't win it, but here's the difference, though. Everything was aligned to win. Fan and management was lockstep.
You were not winning the chip with Bernard King, bro.
No. But there was a time between 1991-92 to 99-2000 where the pursuit for the championship was real.
I think it started earlier than that. I think it started like in '88. Now that's what I think, because because in '88, even though we were inconsistent, we were matchup dependent. Like if we caught the right team on the right night, we could beat anybody. But if we caught the wrong team on the right night, they would blow us out the gym.
I use 91, 92 because we hired Checkets, and Checkets then hired a guy whose philosophy was winning or misery.
Right.
You see?
Right.
When I knew that Pat Riley said that, I said, that's how I feel. It's winning or misery. Right? And every moment that he was here, and even after him, management had that kind of belief. We're going to keep trying to win the championship. And that's where we've lost it. We've lost that kind of manager. And I know we're getting short on time. I remember that when Checkets used to come on, and it wasn't that Checkets used to come on every day, but he would come on the radio.
Yeah.
Like once every couple of months, give a State of the Union. You know, we do, a Sunday afternoon game, Knicks against Bulls, or something to that effect. When Jeff Van Gundy, when it was rumored that Jeff Van Gundy was about to get fired, and that he met with Phil Jackson, he came on camera, and spoke to Knicks fans, and talked about how he saw it, and why they pursued that. You see, you're having, and this is before such a thing as, or in the infancy of the internet.
Right.
See what I'm saying? It's not guys hiding under their desk.
But and they would do, and in fairness, they would do TV interviews, or I'm sorry, not TV interviews, but newspaper interviews about once a month, occasionally.
The best that this management core, as far as press and talking points that they've had in these 2 years, was with what's the gentleman they've since moved on from him, I believe, the marketing gentleman. When he went on ESPN like 2 years ago,
Steve Stout.
And talked about where rebranding and where we were going, and he talked about the coach getting fired, and as soon as he got off the show, a couple of hours later, the Knicks put out a statement that the thoughts were views of Steve Stout were not necessarily of Madison Square Garden. I'm like, what the hell for? That's what you need.
That's what you need.
That's what you need. You need somebody that's saying, we're going there.
Right.
We're gonna restore the feeling. Ever since Snoop came through and crushed the buildings, that's where we're going.
Right. Right.
See, not hide behind the desk or hide after a trading deadline.
You mean be accountable, right? You're talking to accountability, right?
Out front with it. Okay? Be out with it. Like you've heard me state before, there's never a day I've ever been ashamed of being a Knicks fan.
Right.
You understand? I don't care who's in my immediate surroundings. When I'm talking basketball, you don't get to float rings and whatever and think I'm afraid to talk to you about basketball because I'm a fan of the New York Knicks.
Right.
You understand? I bleed this. So you need people who bleed this.
Right. AD, I be here every day, bro. I talk Knicks 7 days a week. Every day. And folk are like, Uncle Freezie hates the Knicks. Right? Because I'm critical.
Yeah, because you're critical. Because someone called me a narcissist this past week. Why? Because I don't agree with the way they're going with the team.
Right.
Shout out to Kev.
Right.
Right? Because I don't agree with, I know that's not correct. I know it in the bottom of my pit of my stomach that is not correct.
Right.
You don't run and hide. You know what I mean? You face the music. You don't put out, little things and leaks to Woj and Wesley's talking to Dolan and says it's Thibodeau's fault. Who the hell is William Wesley?
Right. That was a sucker move, bro.
Sucker move.
Sucker move.
If we hated Randall for his thumbs down, whatever, that was a sucker move.
That was a sucker move, man.
Like
you don't generally have dudes like that in your crew. Dudes
dudes
like
that in your crew.
Nah, man. That's a sucker move right there. You can't mess with a dude like that, bro. You just
can't mess with a dude like that because why? Y'all brought him in here together. That's your man.
Right. We came in the door together. We supposed to leave out the door together, bro. Come on.
You trying to hold on to a relationship because you know how Dolan get down. Why?
Right.
Because you do his bidding. You did his bidding up until this point to get to this chair.
Right.
But you
knew it beforehand, and now you scared in the moment.
Okay. So now you scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
now
man.
So you gotta clean these guys up from around you. That's the reason why Michael Jordan has not been successful with Charlotte.
Right.
These kinds of yes men, kind of sort of, Sopranos reference. They laugh at your jokes. They laugh so hard when you make a corny ass joke. Ha 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 ha. Or do a laugh. No. Those are not the people you need in your circle.
Right.
See what I'm saying? You can't win like that. You just can't.
Right. That's what I'm saying, AD. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling Knicks Universe that when you listen to and everybody's gonna have a different opinion. Right? Everybody's gonna have different opinions. That's what I'm saying. When the OGs talk, I want everybody to know who the OGs are. Right? Don't just come in here and talk over the OGs like you know what you're talking about. Like I heard a young dude say, "Man, the 4C did this to us and that," and I was like, "Yo, shut up and listen to the OGs. The OGs know what they talking about. Shut up, boy, and listen to the OGs. Right? Don't be telling me something about you've been a fan. All you know is the mellow years." You know they're called mellow years, and then you trying to talk over AD. Get out of here, clown. Get out of here.
You gotta know more than the comment. I mean, those were good to painful years, and we're never gonna get on that. But Freezie, I gotta.
Me too. I gotta get out of here and get something to eat.
Let me say once again, thank you very much, Nick Nation, for joining us. And again, I apologize for not being here next week, but you understand. Last week. But you understand, sometimes we got to take a little day off, to recatch ourselves and so forth. Freezie, when we gonna talk this boxing, baby? When we gonna do it? Hit me up on.
So a dude tells me that the 70s was not the golden era of heavyweight boxing.
The 70s most definitely was the golden era of heavyweight boxing.
No, not according to this dude, and he older than me.
And you need to have him on so we can have
what I need to do is cut his ass. That's what I need to do.
Have a nice conversation. The 70s was definitely the golden era of heavyweight boxing.
He said the Lennox Lewis era is the golden era.
Jesus.
And listen, if you go by the amount of money these dudes were making and the size of the fights, I can understand the argument. But I was there.
You just, as you say that, one of the great heavyweight fights, and I highly recommend this, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes for the WBC champion. Larry Holmes with a busted left hand.
Yes.
Torn rotator cuff.
Yep.
Right? And still swinging the left hand. Knowing that there ain't nothing in there.
Right.
But he's still swinging it.
Did you hear him afterwards? He was like, every time I moved it, I could hear it clicking. Did you hear him talk about that?
Look at him. Look at that 15th round of him and Norton just standing there. Shot for shot. No boxing. No skill.
The Eastern Assassin.
Yes, the Eastern Assassin. Just arm for arm. Like, that's what, 1979, I think?
Is it? Okay.
That's 1979. Yeah, that's 1979 in Las Vegas. And he had to win that last round. Both men, either one had to win the last round to win the championship.
Yeah.
And
What I would point to
that's Norton's last great fight.
Yeah. After that, he was washed. And sometimes as fighters, you get it beat out of you. It's not that you don't have heart or you don't have talent. You just get it beaten out of you. That's why these 15-round wars. I'm against fights going longer than 10 rounds, bro. I believe fights should be 8 rounds and that's it. If you want to see guys for a long time.
Well, I'm against it. I've been against it, Freezie, because as a student of the game, and I recently watched, something on a documentary. Well, I watched it again.
The Joe McClellan thing?
Nah, on Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
From Galveston, Texas. The first everything. So if I'm gonna use the initials. The first.
How about the first actual boxer? The boxer puncher. I'm sorry.
The first boxer puncher, the first MF, the first style and showman that we've known, just the first. When he loses his title to Jess Willard in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba, 110 degrees.
I was gonna say the temperature.
It's in the 26th round of a 45-round fight.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro.
No shade.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. The 6th round.
Yep. That is ridiculous. Bro.
Think about that, Freezie. Guys can't be 7 without getting tired. And these dudes were outside, not in a
no, and no canvas over the top. No canvas over the top.
No canvas over the top.
Right, I saw it.
The sun.
Right.
It's the sun. And when he knocks, Jack Johnson out, you see Jack Johnson laying there covering his eyes. Why? There is no canvas over the top, like you said.
Right.
He's shielding his eye from. But yeah, we could definitely have one of those discussions. So, if you want, anybody, at any moment in time, you want to discuss some boxing, whatever.
We got to talk.
One of these days.
We have to do that, and we have to talk the Steel Curtain versus the New York Stock Exchange. Right?
There's no comparison.
Right. There is no comparison.
That's
right?
The Steel. There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
I'm on the Jets side of this.
What? Hey! Let me just say this in closing. Against Cleveland, you're up 20-10.
Right.
Fourth down, up 2017. Fourth down, 4th and 24. Somebody from the Sack Exchange, illegally hits Bernie Kosar, gives them a first down on 4th and 24. That's all I have to say. Okay, so you remember that when you want to discuss the Stock
I know that the New York Stock Exchange well, bro.
Okay.
I know them what. I know them well. What I would say is this.
No, you have no argument after that.
No, listen, hear me out. Is Dwight White better than Joe Klecko?
No. Joe Klecko
is Mean Joe Green better than Mark Gastineau?
Yes.
Statistically, are you saying impact or statistically?
Impact.
Because if we go by statistics,
there was a period in Gastineau's career. See, Gastineau was good against and I'm not going to kill him here, but he was phenomenal against the pass and so against the run.
Right. But you knew that going in. You knew that going in.
Right. While Mean Joe Green could do everything. Klecko could do everything. Klecko's I think he still holds the distinction of being the only one to be voted to first team 3 different positions on the defensive line.
Right. Right. Marty Lyons, Abdul Salam. Right.
Abdul Salam, run stopper. Could give you a pass rush. Marty Lyons is just totally in the middle run stopper.
Run stopper. Yeah.
In the middle run stopper. Not very good again. But they had like I said, when you have Klecko and Gastineau, and when Klecko was an end at first, and you got and he was I saw him about 10 years ago on the train, him and his son.
Okay.
And he was standing like within 10 feet proximity. And I was like, that's Joe Klecko. And, I'm an old school Jet fan. And it took everything in my heart not to go up to him and say, hey, I'm an old school Jets fan. And I'm just sizing him up. And I'm like, yo, I'm about as tall as Joe Klecko, if not taller than him.
Right. Yep.
He still got me by at that time by body wise or whatever. And I'm looking at him, sizing him up, and I'm like, wow, he could do that much damage from his, girth and his playing weight back then, because he was just extremely explosive off the ball, a lot like Aaron Donald is today.
Right.
Yeah, that would be my comparison.
Who do you think is better? Marty Lyons or LC Greenwood?
I don't see. LC Greenwood.
I would go Marty Lyons.
I can't go there with them because those guys in a collective circle, plus with who they had in the back,
See, but you can't count them. That's where the argument gets skewed. You can't count them. I'm talking about Steel Curtain versus New York Stock Exchange.
If you look at that first Super Bowl that they played against Dallas with Tony Dorsett, in the beginning of that first quarter, whatever, they were running all over the Steelers.
All over them.
They're running all over them. And so at some point in time, the curtain just said, going into the second quarter, that's it. They're not running against us anymore. That's it.
I would argue the Raiders defense was better than the Steel Curtain. The 76 Raiders defense, in my opinion, is better than the 75 Steelers and the 79 Steelers. Right? And you're talking about Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, and those. Anyway, we ain't gonna have this conversation. Hey, man, thank y'all for coming out.
Absolutely that.
You know what I'm saying? We'll take this conversation somewhere else. AD, as usual, it was a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Man, make sure y'all recognize AD is one of the GOATs of this game. You know what I'm saying? One of the OGs of Knicks universe. We'll be back next Sunday if everything go according to schedule. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Knicks family for life.
Peace.